All right, so I'm gonna just try to pick up one more video from here. Coming into the effigy from the winter solstice sunset, summer solstice sunset, equinox set due west twice a year, equinox rise due twice a year, winter solstice sunrise, summer solstice sunrise. Okay, these rocks extend in this chain 1,400 feet out to the northern mound. And basically the apex of the parabola between that summer solstice sunrise and out here to this winter solstice sunrise. That parabola is significantly more engineered ancient civilization work than the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of the mounds that are already recognized because of the stonework. It's much more in line with Machu Picchu. So that is kind of why I'm trying to unearth this and really truly understand it. We're clearly matching up all the celestial alignments, understanding the impacts of axial precession, but now this piece of it is actually really fascinating because really trying not to damage the stonework. And then that way we could try to run it through AI and do some analysis of the various stones themselves, patterns that repeat, angles, ways in which they might have been slotted up into this, almost like an atlas, but also a telescope, but also a survey cartography machine, kind of all in one. So this is the level of rock work that I'm seeing already, with a lot to expose, and none of it is what you would just randomly expect in nature to be like, here, let me give you a dose of all sorts of crazy. Because there's quartz inclusions, there's carvings, there's massive alignments that almost look like place stoned, intricate details that make you reflect on what was being carved or what was naturally happening, but neither make perfect sense. So I think many of these anomalies of beautiful stonework are brought here and made to look like one big, massive monument at some point that now has gone totally grown in. And I pontificate that if we go up the Hunger Mountain as well, in many of the reserved protected areas, there will be what I believe are probably buried artifacts of past civilizations, and that's why we're seeking some dig permits with the state and trying to do this collaboratively. But it's really hard to explain the precision of V-cuts, angles, things that you then see in the stoneworks, as if they would have been pointers, maybe moved in a previous, more recent wave of archaeoastronomers to the area, restoring the clockwork. So this here is what I originally thought was pointing up to the solstice, but it's probably more of a magnetic north bearing along this line to the magnetic south to magnetic north, 72 degrees, 72.66 degrees west of longitude of Greenwich today, but what I believe would have been an OG meridian, 12,235 miles long of longitude that would have united us with Machu Picchu due south of us. And then that would have created a longitude and latitude per some of my other hypotheses, where this site would have utilized the surrounding bowls of mountains to effectively function as a sextant. And because of this parabola, you would have two parabolas of the winter solstice sunrise and the summer solstice sunrise. If you're closer in the circle to that apex point and your mountain peak on the back end of what you use to calibrate measurements is higher than the majority of the mountains, in this case the Green Mountains, that would function in a wave of measurement potential on a long distance sight range. You could basically control point the one parabola to a very small variance in movement. And then the other variable is the ways in which the solstice sunsets would shift across those mountain peaks, south of Camel's Hump and south of Mansfield. That parabola could tell us the 5-degree wobble, the 2.4 degree obliquity that is inherently part of the 23.5 degree ever-changing rotation of the Earth around the sun. That cycle of 41,000 years, I believe, is encapsulated in this set of stoneworks. And we're in the process of revealing what's underneath all this duff and dirt, and trying to figure out how this all relates to all the other UNESCO sites, because when you plot them in a very specific GPS Google Earth setup, as I have, from that point right there, that flag right there, and to all, you run that line through all these intersecting flags, and then out to those mountain peaks, or up to these mountain peaks, maybe sighting through a second, more closer range of devices along here, which would have been stonework that you could put a rising star, rising planet, rising moon in alignment with. That would give you your all that you need for high-level precision cartography. So you now connect Machu Picchu with this site along a constant magnetic north-south, and you effectively have a longitude and latitude site when you connect this site, that site, to all the various pyramids in the Central America and Mexico area, and all of the cliff dwells and Mesa Verdes and Chaco Canyons in the southwest, and all of the petroglyphs, and all these sites that we've already mapped and GPSed with high accuracy, creating effectively what probably will amount to a 1, 5, 10 degree set of separations between latitude and longitude. So I think they were able to calculate for not only 360 degrees and circles and sacred geometry, but deep astro relational things that most civilized society, except Westerners, is coming into inventions of these ideas and creations of these thoughts in the 1800s. So it's just what it is. If people want to cling to that past and say, no, only that, because it supports some form of monotheistic thinking, or thinking rather, fueled by monotheism of three major blends, but also, the statist empires that want to control the assets, if you will, of knowledge base and intellectual property. It's all part of why we don't truly know history as it should be taught. That's my 2 cents. I believe this site's worth protecting. I'm doing everything I can to. I appreciate everybody's support. Peace.